Today we're gonna be cleaning a gun. In this case, it's gonna be an ST1. I don't have a cross-contaminated gun. The gun is virtually clean, but I'm gonna go through the process and some of the philosophies that I have on how you should clean a gun. You're always gonna be taking the gun apart, starting from the bottom, pulling out the check valves. I'll put a little bit of solvent in there. In this case, it's a brake cleaner. It'll help me pour it out much better and clean it so that it doesn't contaminate the gun. I'm gonna give that a second. I'm gonna swish it around a little bit. Dump that out. In most cases, you would have A and B chemical coming out right now, so make sure that you do it in a garbage can or something else. Anyway, allow that to drain out. Once that's stopped dripping and once it stopped draining, continue with the tear down of the gun for cleanup. So the next step, after you remove those check valves and you've drained out the chemical, I like to also loosen up this tip, so as I take the gun apart, it's easier to do that. I'm also gonna loosen up my side seals a little bit so that I don't scratch my mixing chamber as I pull it out. I'm gonna go ahead and loosen up that fluid housing, and it slides out. Now I can go ahead and remove that mixing chamber. Remove the two side seals. The fluid housing is completely disassembled. Normally what I would do at this point is have a bucket with some solvent in it. Go ahead and stick that fluid housing into that solvent. I'll do the mixing chamber. I'll stick that into the solvent. Now I'm gonna go ahead and clean my side seals and my check valves. I'm gonna start off with the A side check valve. Remove the screen. I wanna check and make sure that there's no chemical or crystallization that's stuck in here. If there is, you can take your brake cleaner. You can spray off those parts. I wanna check these O-rings. I'm looking for where they get flattened, they get hard. You'll see chunks missing. You'll see elongation, like a stringy portion of that O-ring coming off. Make sure that you replace those O-rings with the appropriate parts. So one of the tests I like to do is I put the air chuck right up against the check valve where the chemical would be coming in. What I don't wanna see is I don't wanna see that this air chuck gets kicked back off of that check valve. That would tell you that you have a restriction in here that you need to take this thing apart and clean it further. So this O-ring right here, this will get flattened out and you'll get a buildup of ISO around that O-ring. If you start seeing it look like that, I want you to remove this face O-ring from the check valve. So now what I wanna do is I'm gonna clean that chamber out really good so that when you put your new O-ring in there and seat it in there with grease, it's gonna seal up really well. You're not gonna have any issues. Before I go ahead and finish up here, I wanna polish the end of this where the chemical has built up. Typically that'll happen on your A side. Your B side, you're usually good to go. I'm gonna blow out my screen. When I do that, what I wanna do is I wanna do what I call a light test. I hold that screen up and I actually look through the screen. As the screen gets older, you're gonna see that you have less than 100% on that screen. I would recommend on these screens, on this gun, these are 60 mesh screens. If you get below 50%, you need to replace that screen. I'm gonna go ahead and reassemble. In your case, you would be putting a new face O-ring in here. I'm gonna be reinstalling the one that was in there. Throw my screen on that I already cleaned. That's going back on. That check valve is ready to go back into the fluid housing. I'm gonna go into my side seal, put a little solvent in there. That'll break down the chemical that's in there. Then I'm gonna go back to my air. I wanna make sure when I blow that out that there's no restriction on that side seal. So if you notice you have an issue, or say you have some black part of the O-ring sticking out past the actual nipple of the side seal, it's a good idea at that point to remove that. Oftentimes you may have to find a tool to manipulate the spring in there and push this side seal out. Once this is removed, there's another O-ring here on your side seal. Oftentimes you're gonna wanna replace that. On this carbon fiber, you cannot polish this on the grinding wheel. If you have extras, it's a good idea at this point to replace it. Now, inside of the actual side seal, you'll also have this spring. You can clean them on your wire wheel. Just lightly press that into your wire wheel and keep turning it and clean it completely. So now, if you take this apart, you'll see that there's good spacing between the wires. And if you compress it, you can see that there's good spring left. I'm gonna go ahead and reassemble this side seal. I do like to make sure that the O-rings are greased and also your threads and this portion of the actual side seal is completely greased so that when I put it into the gun, once again, that grease pushes out and seals it up so no air can get in there and it'll be easy to remove every single time. I'm gonna move on to the mixing chamber. It's been soaking in our solvent, in this case, a little brake cleaner. What I wanna do first is I'm gonna remove the tip On this particular gun, our mixing chamber is kind of two-part. So it's where the side impingements come in. Where they meet inside of this mixing chamber is behind this tip. So it would be at this point right here. I'm cleaning that small portion of the mixing chamber. I want to clean my side impingements. So when you clean this, go ahead and clean out both sides. Take your air chuck. Once I've blown the air through and you look through that mixing chamber, even though they're not directly aligned, they're slightly offset to help mix that chemical, it still looks like a complete whole circle. So what you want to do is you want to make sure you polish up your mixing chamber. That will ensure that you don't get any bypassing, that you don't get any misting. But what you want to do is where this mixing chamber, our side seal rather, actually makes contact with your mixing chamber, you want to polish those surfaces up really good before you install them. So I've cleaned out behind the tip, cleaned up my side impingements, I did my lights test, now I'm ready to polish. Take it on my wire wheel, just going to go back and forth. I'm going to polish up the other side, perfectly clean. You can see that there's good glare, there's nothing on that mixing chamber. There's no scratches that are going to cause any issues with that mixing chamber at all. It's polished up, it's ready. My next step is to apply grease. That way I know nothing can get on that mixing chamber between now and the time that I put it back in my gun that can get on the side of that mixing chamber and cause us any issues. So as I apply this or put this tip back in there, you'll actually see that the grease is pushing out on both sides of the mixing chamber. That will give us longer spray life and longevity. The tip will stay cleaner longer. Today I'm using brake cleaner. If you don't have brake cleaner, some of the other chemicals, basically what they're called is plasticizers, okay? What that means is these chemicals will break down plastics. Once you're done with your cleaning solvent, this here is a brass brush. So it's not gonna damage anything. So I wanna go through and clean out those areas and just brush them out. Any of the areas that you're cleaning with your gun, these brushes work great. I'm gonna go ahead and blow out fluid housing. You don't have to see it, you can feel it. So doing it with the air is a good idea before you reassemble the gun. Now, this fluid housing is ready to be reassembled. I'm gonna go ahead and start putting that back together again. The side seals, I'm just gonna put those in, turn them once or twice so that they don't fall out on me as I'm reassembling, but I don't want to go further than that before I put my mixing chamber back in. As I'm reassembling the gun, I make sure that I grease where the actual gun ties to the manifold in case I were to get chemical in there. It won't harden, it'll be easy to clean. I also make sure that I pack on the A side around my check valve, and I also want to grease the faces. Now I'm going to go ahead and put the mixing chamber back in. On this particular gun, there isn't a top or a bottom. I can snug up my side seals at this point. Before I put that fluid housing back on, another good spot to grease is where your fluid housing bolt goes into the actual handle of the gun. I take my index finger, I push this mixing chamber so it's back as far as I can get it, so you can easily get it into the piston where it grabs the piston. And now I can go ahead and seat my fluid housing onto my gun. I'm gonna go ahead and snug that up. I'm gonna wipe off the excess grease that doesn't need to be on the gun. Okay, so now that my gun is all greased, it's all put back together again, I wanna put it on the manifold. In this case, I would ask that you pretend that the hose is connected. Now, before I open up my fluid on the gun, I want to connect my air to the back of the gun. I want to release the safety. So I want to open up my safety, right? Push that in and turn it. I want to actuate my trigger. What that's going to do is it's going to pull that mixing chamber back and forth, and it's going to ensure that I don't have anything between my side seals and that mixing chamber. It's just one last step to ensure that when you go ahead and turn on your fluid, you don't have a cross-contamination in that gun. If you do this the same way every time, you will eliminate problems with these guns. I know that I'm clean, I know that I'm good to go. I'm gonna re-engage my safety, turn that back on, turn my air back off. Now, what I wanna do is hold the gun upright. The fluid is pressurized. I wanna check and make sure I don't have any leaks, that I'm properly seated and sealed here, gun to the manifold. I'm just gonna crack open just a little bit. Now I'm gonna crack open the A side just a little bit. I crack that open, nothing's leaking, I'm good to go. What you want to start off with here is you want to shut your air off going to the gun so that no air is coming out of the gun. Spray some brake cleaner right into the end of that tip. Typically, I'll kneel down right on the floor, brace the gun on my leg before I start cleaning out with the cleaning bit. So as I go in, if I'm starting to turn my clean out bit and it starts to bind or become difficult, stop immediately. You want to clean those grooves out on that drill bit and then go back in. Once the bit moves freely back and forth in the nozzle and you can feel no chemical or resistance from foam inside of that tip, you know that it's completely clean. I'm going to go ahead and turn on my air back on and go back to spraying. Now I opened up my valves completely. I recommend also do some test sprays. If you go to start spraying and you have any issues at all and something's still not working, make sure you get a hold of somebody here at IDI, your sales rep, your branch manager, whoever you get a hold of. They'll put you in touch with our technical staff. We'll help you figure out your problems. We'll get you back on track and get you spraying as soon as possible. Otherwise, happy spraying and thanks for your time.